If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the live podcast, Don't Wait to Be Great. I am your host, Mr. Derek Forston. They call me Mr. ILF, and if you love God, love people, and love real estate, you're in the right place. We come on every Saturday at 10 a.m. Today, we got a hard stop at about 1 hour, so I should be here till about 10:58 today. So we'll be closing in less than probably 58 minutes. So again, if you have questions or concerns about how to house the homeless or the displaced, or simply just how to start your own housing program that doesn't require a license, right? That doesn't require for you to have to own the property, and you don't have to pretend to be a nurse or a doctor or LPN, because again, the only requirement for this particular model is a love for God, a love for people. And if you just so happen to love real estate, you are in the absolute right place, and you're going to be perfect for this, because a regular ALF or a regular traditional group home does require a license. So we're going to jump into all of that. My name is Derek Forston. I'm the owner and operator of Second Chance Housing, which we house homeless men, military veterans, that quite frankly would be homeless on the street without our program. So we're super proud of that. We're in Orlando, Florida. We cover a lot of different areas and states, but we mainly focus on Central Florida, everywhere from Orlando all the way down to Fort Lauderdale. So that's who we are and what we do. I'm also the founder and thought leader of Forston Consultants, where me and my family, my beautiful wife, we go all over the world sharing this beautiful message in terms of what is an ILF, what is an independent living facility, and Shay does it from the standpoint of being a nonprofit. So my team put a video out earlier this morning, literally before we came on. I'm the little baby in that whole thing, and Shay is the voice that's saying no, no, no. So if you haven't seen that video yet, it'll only take you probably 18 seconds. Make sure you check that video out. That's either on Instagram or Facebook, right? And it's at Forston Consultants, but it's literally just trying to show you guys that even though, I am LLC for profit, Shay is nonprofit. I've never received a grant, right? Shay does. So I just wanted to show you guys in a funny way, because a lot of people ask us all the time, and Shay's going to talk about today, Derek, should I go nonprofit or for profit? Well, first of all, it's kind of up to you. So again, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, this model that we're going to talk about today, Mr. Ernest, this works in all 50 states. We don't care where you live, what city or what county. There is a homeless problem in your city, and we want you to be the answer to it. Yeah. So again, that's who I am, and that's what I do. I run my big mouth all the time. Most of you guys have probably found us on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook because of me running my big mouth, because years ago, I promised God that if he made this work for me, I promise to go all over the world teaching it and never take any credit. So you guys are going to hear me today say more than once or two or three times that I'm no genius. God just showed me a vision, y'all, of a lady making 41 grand a month doing this very model. But y'all, she was doing it housing people in rats and roaches. And when I saw it as the social worker making 28 grand a year, I was like, Lord, how can we change my whole trajectory? And again, y'all, it took me 2 years and I lost 60 pounds trying to figure out what I can teach y'all in 45 minutes now. So that's who we do. Share the room with anybody that loves God, loves people, and loves real estate. Share it with your pastor, your priest, your bishop, your friend, the lady at your church that love to feed people and want to do more. Share this with them as my wife. That beautiful lady right there with that curly hair and that black sweater, that's my boo thing, y'all. Shay, tell the people how great you are and what you do.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Saturday. I am Shay Forston, the president and founder of the Angela Denise Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization here in Orlando, Florida, that houses women. Listen, Derek, I can go down a whole rabbit trail about being a 501c3 or being for profit, but let me tell you something. God is in the blessing business. When you do for his people, he will do for you, right? So just don't hesitate on trying to figure out which way to go, I say get started, right? Start as soon as you can, because Miss Patricia said it. The weather is deplorable in Houston right now. It's raining and it's cold. How many people would love to have an opportunity to be housed in a program or an ILF that you own and operate to get them and keep them out of those conditions? So I tell everybody, don't be in such a haste to really make a decision on, I need to be an LLC or I need to be a nonprofit. Get going, right? Do what gets you out the starting blocks fastest, and we'll get to that, but just get started. Why wait? Somebody needs you right now. So become a housing provider, become an ILF owner and operator, become a housing referral agent, have relationships with people in your city that have houses, and now send those individuals to those people that have the houses so that they are out of the cold. And I land my plane there, Derek.
Absolutely. We love that. Shay, thank you so much for that. And I'm sure there'll be some questions that come in. Guys, don't forget, we usually kind of go sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours.
We can't
Today is going to be a hard stop, guys, in probably the next 52 minutes. So if you guys have questions or concerns about anything that you're going to hear, make sure you ask. One thing that we're good at is answering your questions. And if not, I have over 625 videos on this topic in terms of how to do this. Shay, if they go to YouTube right now, which most of them are on, and they hit that link that says live, I think we're up to like 630, 633. But I'm going to bring it down and just say, I know for sure, I can promise you that there's over 625 videos on this topic that go for hours. And most of them are over an hour or 2 hours long. And then we got a lot of short content, of course, and you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. But Shay, we pride ourselves on putting out a lot of information, because I promise God, not because y'all been so good to me, right? Because I don't know most of y'all, but I promise God, I say, God, if you let me get in this and it work for me and I can quit my job, God, I'll treat everybody like family when we bump into them, that people that want to do this.
Exactly.
And a part of that promise was going on YouTube 3 times a week. So I'm here Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We've been doing that for years. And for the first time ever, we're thinking about going to 7 p.m. in the first of the year. So go ahead and put in the chat if you think that would be cool. A lot of you guys have been so used to us for the last probably 5 years or so, just right here, starting at 6 p.m. on Mondays and Tuesdays. We're thinking about changing it to 7 p.m. to get a lot of more people to be able to join. We understand that a lot of people are driving and still in traffic coming from work. So we take all of that into consideration. So far, Shay, the response has been yes. Most people have said, yes, let's go to 7.
I'm okay with that.
I agreed to leave it up to Shay, because I usually come up with all the quirky things. But I'm going to let Shay stamp the things that are really important to you guys, like time. So if Shay says 7 p.m. is good, that's what we're going to do. If Shay tell me to keep it at 6,
let's go.
We 7. Keep it. So boom, sounds like Shay is saying 7. So that sounds like whatever the first, and Tia, if you're here, Tia always helps us out in the chat. Tia, if you can let me know, what is the first Monday in January? And that's what we'll do. We'll immediately go to 7 p.m. on Mondays in January. And then on Saturdays, just like you guys are joining now, 10 a.m. Eastern. And we implore you to bring your friends, your family, your pastor, your bishop, because again, you're gonna notice from us, guys, we laugh and we joke and we play around all the time. But I get serious at times when we're talking about how can we extend this affordable housing to your city? Because again, no matter where you live at, guys, housing is a problem. And what we do is not a group home. It's not an ALF. It's not an IDD. All that stuff that requires a license, guys, that is not what we do. We do something that is called independent living facilities, and that is simply where you're able to take the homeless, the displaced, or the guy that just can't afford his own apartment. Everybody don't have to have a mental health problem. Everybody don't have to have a backache and arthritis. Guys, I house a guy that got a job at McDonald's, Walmart, Sonny's Barbecue, Burger King, the local mailman. So anybody that can't afford the local rent, they can't afford to go out and buy a house, as long as they don't mind this shared living environment that you see on the screen. And right now, these are private rooms, right? Now, I'll admit the gist of what most of our places look like is this. When you see the 2 beds per room, and Shay gonna even talk about how she does it. Is Shay any different from me? Not really. But because she's a nonprofit, there are some different processes that, she does that I don't. But to the gist of it, because again, I'm going to pretend that you guys only got 2 minutes to be here with me today. And if I only had 2 minutes And if I was to tell you, how do I explain what this is? Very simple and slowly. If you love God, love people, and love real estate, this is it. Second of all, this does not require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Right there, I just erased everybody's struggle of what they thought they would have. Because even me as the social worker, Shay, you know it. Yeah. I was making 28 grand a year begging God to get into something like this, but thought I had to own the place. Guys, as soon as I found out from that lady that was doing this, making 41 grand a month, housing people in rats and roaches, as soon as I found out that I can go and lease or rent the place, as these young folks say now, game over. Somebody type in the chat, game over. Because when I realized that I didn't have to buy the place, Miss Patricia, because Miss Patricia, you're different from a lot of us. God bless you. Miss Patricia, you are the goal of where most of us are trying to go. Miss Patricia, you already own your place. Yeah. Down there in Houston in the 5th Ward. Big shout out to Miss Patricia down in the 5th Ward. Miss Patricia, you and Tia, you guys are what all of us are aiming for. You guys already own the place. Right. I coach 96% of people that are dreaming to be like Patricia Potts and Miss Tia Johnson. Call me a liar if I ain't telling the truth in the chat. Because they own their property. But guess what? Lucky for y'all big brother Derek, I knew that once I got this, I said, God, how could I teach it to other people? And the first thing that was glared to me was, Derek, tell the people they don't have to own the dadgone place. Most people think they got to go out and buy a property, Shay, like you just did. Yeah. Shay also just did that, rehabbed it and all of that. Shay gonna talk about all of that today. But what if you're not like Tia, Shay, and Miss Patricia, and you like me, making 28 grand a year as that poor social worker 8 years ago? You can go out and lease this place. So before I get crazily deep into that, a lot of people ask me, what is the first step? That first step is watching our free webinar that's scrolling below on the bottom of the screen, but also this ebook bundle. This ebook bundle is $97 and it gets you on the phone with me. When people say, Derek, oh my God, I can't believe you did it. You actually made this thing work with what you told everybody, Derek. You told the world, Derek, that you're going to start a housing program and not need licenses, not a nurse, not an LPN, no doctors. Right. And Derek, people laughed at you, bro. People thought that you'd have been never able to pull this off. Yep. They laughed at me, y'all. But as soon as I did it, instead of saying, I told you so, and I'll never share it, y'all, I couldn't wait to teach it. Because I knew there would be other people that have the same dream as me. Somebody type in the chat, this is my dream. Because, guys, it's no different from me. Y'all and me are the same. Just 8 years ago, I saw a lady doing this, making 41 grand a month. Yeah. Not a year. Lord, have mercy. Somebody put 41 grand a month times 12 and just give the idea, because I want Mr. Ernest to understand where this is coming from. Usually I spend about 5 to 8 minutes just on the story of where this came from, but I won't today. Just know that God allowed me to see something that I was begging him for. How many of y'all have ever begged God for something and the whole time he kind of gave it to you, but you didn't realize it? Say right in your face. I say, God, I want to help people. He used my wife to trick me to go to college, y'all, and get a social work degree. I say, God, I want to get into real estate. God showed me that lady that was making 41 grand a month in real estate. I said, God, I want to help people. Derek, why you think I made you a social worker, dummy? Look at the real estate the lady's using to make 41 grand a month. Derek, if you can do that and change the way homeless people are being viewed and housed, Derek, boy, you're going to have something, because I'm going to blow on it, Derek. And that's kind of what God's message was to me. And I know I went over my 2 minutes just then, but if you love God, love people, and you've always tried to get into real estate, you thought you had to buy it. Congratulations that you met us. Now you don't. Guys, I do buy real estate today, but most of the properties that I do this from, y'all, I lease them places. I don't own them places. Does that make sense, everybody? Correct. 3 of y'all type in the chat, I can do this. Now, for 2 seconds, Shay, I want you to jump in, because people saw you on Instagram, Shay, buy a property, you rehabbed it, and started a whole ladies' facility. Talk about how you did that, why you did that, and what's the difference between the ones you also rent, Shay? Right. So first and foremost, how I did it is, again, acquiring the rentals first. I used that I utilized that income that came from those rental properties to save towards purchasing this home, right? The goal was to not always pay for somebody else's mortgage to be paid off, but why not have something that I can literally do whatever I want with as my asset?
So that was one of the main reasons why I did it. And the reason why I choose to have both is because of the scalability, right? I have rentals and I have an owned property. The reason why I balance the two is how fast can I, as a nonprofit organization, right? Let me get you out of the myth that you think that grants will pay for property. They don't. Okay. So what you have to realize is grant funding is always allocated to programs, not property, not brick and mortar, none of that, unless you have an investor, quote unquote, which is a donor that is donating towards that particular thing. But technically, Derek, why I did it is because of the scalability. I can rent faster than I can go out and buy property, especially if
slow that down, because that was so powerful, but so simple that somebody's going to miss that. Can you say that phrase again about how fast that, what you said again?
I can rent faster than I can purchase.
Stop right there. So for all of the people that always ask me, Derek, why would you rent? Like, how do you scale faster, Derek, in this business? Shay just told y'all without even knowing that was the cheat code answer to something I was going to tell y'all later. For the Jones family, the Ransom family, and I think it was the Peterson family, you guys asked the same question. Derek, how did you scale so fast? And once I get in it, how can I scale faster? Right. Most of y'all can't buy a property every other week. Shay just told you she can rent faster than she can buy.
Yeah.
That's the cheat code to this, guys. Go ahead, Shay.
Derek, what people don't realize is as an investor or someone that is purchasing property, I have to look for specific things. I have to look at neighborhood. I've got to look at the acquisition cost. What is it going to cost me to acquire this property? And during this time frame, I'm also doing assessments and getting different things done on the house before I can even put in an offer, while the offer is in, right? The due diligence. I'm doing that. I don't have to do that in a rental. My due diligence is drive by the property, see if it fits my needs.
Connect with the owner.
Connect with the owner. Do a walkthrough in the property and sign the lease. That's the fastest way, right? I can get a yes on a rental property in less than 24 hours when I have to take about 14 to 16 days as an investor on property to
just on the due diligence.
Due diligence.
Not even count the buying process and all of the walkthroughs and surveys and blah, 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 blah.
Everything that you need to
Not count the rehab if you got to fix it. Shay, you went through a whole rehab, total rehab.
Let's talk about it real quick. So think about it. I purchased the property. I had to rehab the property. I had to get the property deep cleaned after the rehab before I can move anybody in this property. Make sure that it's got the perfect insurance, everything that I need. Before I
gotta close on the property at the bank, deal with escrow, that aggravating process of going back and forth for closing. Don't even get Shay started on that, y'all.
Please don't. But again, these are the things that you have to take in consideration. Yes, you can buy, but where are you at in the purchase process, right? That's the question I will always ask. If you're someone that is just, that this is what you do, you're an investor, your wholesale game is on 5 million and you're doing great, then go for it. As you buying those puppies, put people in them, right? But when you are new to it, Frankie D, what's up, Frankie Dawson? But when you are new to this space and you are not someone that is into real estate, allow this to be your stepping stone to enter into being a real estate investor, right? This is going to show you how you can scale quickly, especially with the phones ringing, beds being filled, all of that good stuff. Now you start looking at, okay, how do I take the funds that I have now and now allocate them to investment properties? And then when you have that way, you have a mixed portfolio of ILFs, right? You don't just have owned
diversify
properties.
Is what I'm hearing.
You have rental properties, and boom. That's just the way I see it, Derek. Do both.
I love it. So let's go right over to Miss Juliet. Guys, don't forget, I have a hard stop at about 10:58 this morning. Got to get out of here. It's one of the times where I'm going to want to talk for 3 hours a day, but I just can't. You guys know I love it, right? But we got some other things to do that we got to do today. So
and be on time.
10:58, guys, I'm going to be probably off of here, right? If not, Shay going to hit the power button on me. So if you have any questions or concerns about anything that we're talking about, make sure you ask your questions. And then if not, make sure that you text the phrase "more info" to the phone number 407-326-6766. 0086. I'm scrolling that along the bottom. Obviously, it does talk about our scholarship, but if you text the phrase more info, MOREINFO, that's going to give you our introductory webinar where I talk about a lot of this in a more of a chronological order. I just treat y'all like family on Saturdays when we're talking about it. But if you want a more chronological order of what this is from step A to Z and then get a chance to talk to me, text the phrase more info, the 407-326-0086. And then by all means, if you're impressed enough and you want our one-on-one coaching, you take scholarship and then see what kind of discount is able to be applied to the one-on-one coaching. But from Miss Juliet, she says, I intend to rent, but do I get the property first or do I do the marketing to get the people? Now, we get this all the time. And within my 625 videos, I'll probably talk about this in 155 of those. Yeah. But because I love questions and Miss J is also our sister, watch this. Miss J, the way that I think about it in my coaching, I'd rather advertise like crazy and have my phone ringing off the hook. Correct. And not have a house than to have a house that I'm sitting on for 6 months and I can't feel it because I didn't do the marketing correctly.
That's a part of your due diligence. Remember, we talked about
does that make no, hold it, Shay, cause Shay about to jump it. Miss J, does that make sense before we go any further? Because if that didn't make sense, I need to rewind that. And then I'm gonna let Shay jump all over that because Shay's our marketing genius on the digital side anyway. But ask Shay how many discovery calls I take per week for people to say, Derek, I've already got started. I got the house, but I can't feel it. That tells me already that you didn't have the marketing in place. Because my HRA, and Juliet, I do believe that you're one of our HRA people. That's the gist of that. The Housing Referral Agent program, the whole gist of that program, Miss J, is how do I get your phone ringing? Because if your phone ringing off the hook, you can get 55 properties tomorrow and fill them all. But if you go and get 2 houses tomorrow with no marketing and nobody knows you, how do we fill that place? So under our coaching at Forston Consultants, again, I'd rather you say, Derek, I did exactly what you did, big bro. I'm advertising, and Derek, they blowing me up. And Derek, I don't have the house yet. Well, you need to become a housing referral agent so that you can refer those people out and still make an impact and an income. Now, Miss J, tell me in the chat if that makes sense, and I'm gonna go here and check it. Yep, she said, yep, it makes sense. She says, thanks. Got it. Yeah, so that's and I don't care what the business is. Why should we give you just regular business coaching? Obviously, we come here and talk about housing the homeless and real estate. But if you start your bakery tomorrow and you claim to bake the best red velvet cake, how do people know about the shit if you don't advertise it?
They won't.
If I don't see it on Instagram, I don't see it on TikTok, I don't see other customers biting into it and trying it and get the cream cheese all over their face, how do I know that it's good?
Correct.
How do I know that if you don't take a picture with it and then you pinch that cake and show me how moist it is? If you never show me that, how do I know to come buy that cake from you?
Yeah, you don't.
But watch this. The guy that's got the dry red velvet cake, the fake off-the-shelf cream cheese, and it's nasty, he outsell all y'all because he advertised 7 days a week. Is that fair, Miss Patricia, that this guy got the worst cake on the block? Well, it kind of is because he advertised like crazy. And the only way you going to know that, man, you know what, this ain't the guy. You going to go to him, you going to buy it, and you're not going to like it.
And then you be the first one.
But guess what? The lady with the best cake, you never went because you don't know her. I rest my case. Shay, jump on that.
She don't market. And I think that's the biggest misconception that everybody has. They think, well, I have the house. Everybody's supposed to know that I have the house through, I don't know, a telepathic path or something.
Frankie say not the dry cake selling.
You know he will, Frankie.
But Frankie, one thing about the guy with the dry cake though, if he advertised 7 days a week, twice a day, you guys are going to go and visit him at least once.
Go. Okay, let's make a great example of this. I've been following a restaurant here in Orlando on social media for months. 4 months.
Watch this, y'all.
Somebody that follows me, this restaurant hopped on their algorithm. This person went to the restaurant before I did.
Because they saw it on Shay page.
They saw that I followed this individual.
Look how social media works, y'all. I'm going to tell Shay's story all over again and pretend y'all didn't hear it because I love this story so much. Really slowly. Shay is following this quote-unquote restaurant. Shay ain't never been a day in her life. She just liked the way it looked.
And was like, man, I got to try
it. And because Shay's following it, and looking at it. Somebody in the algorithm, because they Shay friends saw it. They went to the place one time and now he go twice a week.
He immediately called me and said,
told
Shay,
us we've been, and we told 10 people who are now going. This, holy Shay,
go ahead.
This business don't even know it. But they getting 20 to 35 plates a month being sold for people that just telling other people.
Correct.
Lord have mercy, Shay. Go ahead, Shay. I'm sorry.
Because
I'm so mad I got to stop in 40 minutes.
What I want them to remember is this. I followed the social platform. I never went.
Yep.
It was on my to-do list, just never made it, right? Yep. And then what ended up happening is this person went because they saw that I also followed this company.
They trusted Shay,
and they
so to speak.
They thought I went.
He was like, "Oh, Shay." He said, "Shay, I thought you been." Shay was like, But if you go tell me about it, now all of us go.
No. They went and completely. They went first and came to me and said, "Shay, I only went because I saw that you followed this site." And I was like, really? He was like, have you eaten there? And I was like, no. He was like, you haven't? And I was like, no, I want to go. How was it? He said, oh my God. He calls me Shasta.
Let's do some free promo right now. I'm going to show y'all just how to be a nice guy. And we should all be doing this for other people. Now, here is the part where I say, hey guys, we laugh and we joke and we play a lot in here, but I want to be serious for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm about to give somebody this restaurant a free promo. We got quite a few followers on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. So if you're in the Orlando area and you love oxtails, they serve a bunch of stuff. But I'm sold on their oxtails and their Rasta pasta. And they also got this thing called a soul bowl. A soul bowl, where the whole bottom of the plate, imagine your grandmother baking that cornbread, Miss Tia. But on top of the cornbread is every other thing that they serve. Mac and cheese, collard greens, yams, oxtails. All of that's together. Yeah. So, Shay, give them their name.
I did. It's Easy Eats.
Easy Eats.
Easy as in the letter E.
They're in Orlando, Florida. Close to the Citrus Bowl.
After this meeting we have today,
we're probably going today
to get the Soul Bowl, and we're going to take pictures and post them in our community.
But also watch this, because I'm not making this about food today. The point is that all of us that know each other, we should be promoting each other.
Absolutely.
10 of y'all should be saying today, man, on your Facebook page, man, if you ever thought about housing the homeless and helping people and involving real estate and the love of God in it, you need to go see Forston Consultants, because they can teach you how to do it. Guys, that costs you nothing.
Actually, they can gain.
And you can actually gain from it because we pay referral fees. So on a serious note, if you have a housing program right now, type in the chat, what's the name of your program?
Exactly.
We should all be helping and sharing each other. Are you homeless in Houston?
Yeah.
Near the 5th Ward and need a place to live?
Yeah.
Look up Miss Potts Solutions, whatever her name is. See how easy that was, y'all? That was a 6-second video, and that was a post that took me 10 seconds. We all should be doing that for everybody else that we love and like and trust. And most of us that come here, we're family anyway. Makes sense, everybody? Exactly. Now, Shay, I apologize that I keep jumping in front of you.
No, you are
but
good.
I'm so excited, and I only got 24 more minutes in here.
Listen,
and I gotta go.
You're good.
And I'm running out of time, Shay. I got 3 hours in me today, but I got to go in,
They need
20
to come
minutes?
back on Monday. That's it. They just got to come back on Monday.
Join us Monday.
Or we may do a pop-up, Derek. Who knows?
And definitely, even in between that, guys, make sure that you catch up on our lives, because they're all recorded. Like even today, you can go back and watch this. So those 625 videos, guys, those are our live videos. That's not even counting the short content. There's over 625 hour-long videos or more on this topic of loving God, loving people, and loving real estate.
Look at that.
So again, God, I got to go today, but what I got to do today is so important also, because it's also a sowing the seed on something and gaining new business for another business that I have. I got to do that because I love the people too I'm doing it for. But other than that, I would be here today, guys, probably 3 hours a day, because of the way I feel. And there's a lot of new people that are joining us today that have no clue who we are or what we do. So, but anyway, Shay, back on you to go any direction in which you want, babe.
Just marketing. Let's talk about marketing. Marketing is the key. Our private community literally had a 2-hour class on Wednesday talking about the key factors of really positioning yourself, whether it's an HRA, whether you're an ILF owner and operator. we have a VA staffing agency, right? I'm even talking about things like that. It does not matter the business. It does not matter the entity type. You have to speak out. People have to know. You have to have consistency in your messaging, and that's what's going to help you to build your brand. So you can't just buy the house or get the house and now say, okay, now it's time to promote. You've got to build and battle, right? Building is making those relationships. The battle is getting that housing program up and running. So you're going to do both at the same time. If not, you've wasted a lot of time and you're going to sit on a property for months without any residents. So I yield right there. Like I land like that. Absolutely. That's what I got for y'all.
Yeah, you got to advertise. Because again, and because we have the HRA model, that's what makes that example mean more.
Correct.
Because many years ago, when I taught this, you had to have a house to make this work. Today, you don't. You just need relationship. So I talk a lot about you need relationship, not the real estate all the time. Mm-hmm. So imagine that, if you did have a problem of advertising this housing that you don't have, now you refer those people out. Yeah. And if you're real smart, you take our coaching, like prime example, here's some free coaching. We got tons of new people that we just launched in Orlando, Florida, and in Central Florida alone. Yesterday, we had one in Haines City, Florida. Again, guys, I have over probably 25 empty beds right now. So think about this, Miss Juliet.
And not you.
Never mind, Miss Juliet, where you live at right now. In fact, right now, in these next 5 seconds, Miss J, I don't care where you live. Because guess where the need is? There's a big need, not only in your city, but I got over 30 beds, at least 25 at least, that are in Orlando right now that need your help. So a lot of people, Miss J, when I teach the HRA, they have a closed-in mindset like they can only HRA in their city.
Right.
Guys, you can HRA in all 50 states. But how great is it that Forston Consultants has already built a community of people that already need your help? In fact, if you in this room right now, when you got empty beds, you should be typing in the chat your location, your housing program's name, and tell them to DM you or whatever, however y'all do that. Because I don't know if you want to put your phone number on the chat. I don't know. I don't care. I got a business line. So 407-813-2640. You guys can send me a client and I'll pay y'all so fast it'll scare you. Yeah. And that's what the HRA is, meaning you did the work to get your phone ringing. You got the need for housing, but because you don't have the housing, you called my team. And because we moved the guy in, right? You now get paid for that because I would have never knew Johnny Smith if you didn't refer Johnny to me. Yeah. So my way of saying thank you is giving you a referral fee. So please, guys, don't be lost on what the HRA is, because with the HRA, you can do it and never need the real estate. And you just need relationship.
And guess what? It's the foundational aspect of
stepping stones. Absolutely.
The ILF operational, right? You're getting your name out. You're starting to create those relationships, whether it's with both the housing providers and the agencies that need people to house their clients. So again, you're working the ILF startup at the very beginning, utilizing the HRA. So just know that is definitely an amazing key factor.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, I got the hiccups of what you're doing. So just know that.
And also, since we're on that topic, Miss J, shout me out in the chat if you're still here. I love it to address people when they've asked a question personally, because sometimes they leave. But Miss J, if you're still here, just shout me out in the chat real quick, because here's a flyer, because a lot of people ask that. We get these printed from a place in Winter Haven. But guys, no matter where you live at, there's some kind of print shop in your city. These are what I would call that postcard style. Guys, I can get 1,000 of these printed for like $100. I can get 500 of these for like $60, right? And I'm going to put these in the gas station, Walmart, Publix, Kroger, right? I'm going to drop them on the floor. I'm going to put them behind the Lay's potato chips. I'm going to put them in Walmart behind the shoes, the socks, the dairy, the cantaloupe, the watermelon, the muscle relaxer, the shoe polish, the steaks, the frozen apartment by the ice cream. See where I'm going with this, y'all? Because I want somebody to be like, wow, I was just trying to find a place for my brother, and somebody dropped their flyer by these ice cream sandwiches. Guys, sometime when we did this in the beginning, that would embarrass the heck out of Shay. Shay is not as outgoing with the promotion as me. Guys, I'll drop these in the airport, in the bathroom. I'll tape them to the wall in a store. Because guys, when you got a vision in your heart, and this is why I be serious again, because a lot of y'all said, Derek, I want to get in this. How bad do you want to get in? How much will you promote? How much will you talk about it? So I teach people to talk about this everywhere you go, not only verbally, but also these flyers can talk for you. And then when you get real smart, like, because it's like a second rendition of my flyers, the new one's got a QR code on it. So now, even if somebody's lazy to read, if they just scan my QR code, I'm locked in their cell phone now.
Right, exactly.
Anything concerning affordable housing, guys. So again, consider getting your flyer game up to par, right? Because again, these flyers can talk for you when you can't. We're housing people all the time. And guess what? One of the first questions that we ask on our assessment, Mr. Greg, how did you hear about us? Most of the time it's Facebook, Instagram. Derek, I found your flyer, man. I was in the gas station. I was using the bathroom. I had to pee real bad. And I saw your flyer and my dad needs a place to live.
Right.
And that's how we found you. Or the social worker says, Derek, I'm a social worker. And I was on my lunch break and I was eating my cheese sandwich. Scrolling through TikTok, Derek, I saw you running your big mouth about affordable housing in Osceola County. So we called you. So guys, all the time, it ain't because I met somebody and shook a hand, or I went and did some presentation, which we do a lot of those in hospitals. Sometimes it's my flyer that's talking for me when I can't be there. Make sense, everybody? If you're new to us, man, I want you guys to get a word from David and Dennis real quick. Dennis is real sharp, knows a lot in terms of ILF. David is an absolute knucklehead, and you got to be patient with him. Let's get a word from those two, and we'll be right back. So Dennis, in this independent living facility model, right, which y'all call ILFs, what kind of residents can I house in this kind of model? David, that's a great question. And that's actually what makes the ILF model so great, is because it's flexible. So prime example, you can house military veterans, elderly adults, women that are escaping domestic violence, and the list goes on and on and on. So Dennis, where do you get your residents from? I see you guys on TikTok and Facebook, you guys getting all of these houses. Like, where in the world are you getting these people from? Yeah, that's actually pretty easy. Forston Consultants teaches us to use social media such as Instagram, Facebook, to let people know who we are, what we do, but probably most importantly, who do we serve? And we do that very consistently. So every day, 7 days a week, there's something being posted about what we do and who we serve, but also building relationships with social workers and case managers. Again, letting them know who we are, what we do, and most importantly with them, that we're available. Dennis, how in the world are you able to do this without a license, bro? David, remember the reason why we don't need a license, because remember, the clients that we serve, they're independent. So that means that they can take their own medications, they can provide their own transportation, and they can cook and provide their own food. Dennis, man, you seem to know a lot about this independent living stuff, man. How do you know so much? Well, first of all, I graduated from Forston Consultants University, and I have a master's degree in independent living facilities. And I join the Forston crew every Monday on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern. They go live, and that guy Derek, man, he give the game away. So I'm always there. So Dennis, what in the world are the requirements to get started with something like this? The only requirement for this, David, is a big heart for God, his people, and the love for real estate. That's it. And bro, don't think I ain't listening, because I am listening. But where can I find more information like this at, man? Because I really want to get started, man. David, if I were you, I'd follow Derek Forston on Facebook and TikTok, and then I'd follow Forston Consultants on everything else in terms of Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Again, really slowly, David, because you're hard-headed. I'd follow Derek Forston at Facebook on his personal page. I'd follow him on TikTok, but I will also follow Forston Consultants on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't forget, David. Hey, Dennis, man, I really appreciate that, man. I'm going to do exactly what you told me to do. I'm going to follow Forston Consultants on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. No problem, David. That's actually what I'm here for. And by the way, where did you get that hoodie? I like that. Oh, this? I got this from Second Chance Apparel. I'll put the link below. This is for aspiring entrepreneurs. And the reason why I love to support it is that every shirt or hoodie that you purchase goes back into housing the homeless. Let's go. Let's go. Big shout out to my guy, David and Dennis, man. Y'all be patient with my boy, David. He hard-headed, but he trying. And that's what we want most of y'all to do, right? So no matter how long it take you, we want you to make sure that you get started. If God has put in your heart that you should be helping people and that you should be involved in real estate, lucky for you, our job is to show you how you can merge all of those together. Yeah. So again, we often tell people this thing that we live by. We love God. We love people. We also want to be respected by our community. But I want you to make enough money to feed your family. And that's what we stand for when we're talking about this ministry and this business of being in shared housing.
Right.
That's this whole model, you guys. So again, if you just joined us and you just kind of turned on the channel, we're simply discussing a housing model that all of you all can start right in your city, and it doesn't require a license, no state oversight, and you do not even have to own the property. Guys, I was a poor social worker making 28 grand a year.
Yeah.
And God allowed me to see a lady making 41 grand a month housing people, guys, in this particular model. The only difference is, Shay, as you know, that lady did this in rats and roaches, y'all. So imagine when I saw that, I said, God, you know, respect the person. This lady made 41 grand a month, God, and then what she told me, she showed me.
Right.
I said, God, will you let me get in it? I said, because God, if you let me get in, I'll teach it to other people. This lady didn't even want to show me how to get started. Now, today, I'm happy about that. But when I was trying to get into it, I was upset. I was enraged. I was the social worker, y'all. Why wouldn't you teach me? I was what you would call the honeypot. So again, in my last 13 minutes of being in this room, if you got questions about what this is, how to get started, how fast can you quit your job? Guys, we got one-on-one coaching that's called the ILF Mastery Blueprint. And it's literally our team, me, Shay, and our team walking you through the process of starting this thing that you don't have to own the property. That should help most of y'all right there. No license and no state oversight to do what we do. This is called a shared living environment that also has private suites inside of them.
Yes, sir.
Shay, can you talk about for 2 minutes how you do mostly in your housing program? Because me and you are a little bit different. I like that shared more than almost anything. Talk about yours and why did you do it that way? And what does the inside of your place look like, Shay?
So my ladies' facilities are normally the master is the shared. So I normally only have one shared room depending on the size of the home. All other rooms are private. And that also switches. It depends on the population type, what the phone calls are, you know, what's the calls coming in, what's the average income for these individuals that I'm housing. You know, are they a program affiliated resident? Do they need to be in a shared room space based on the program aspect that they're coming from? So it's a lot of things that I take into consideration, but right now I have more private rooms than I do shared.
So what they're looking at on the screen right now, this is what you don't have much of. Is that right?
I have like one or two.
Because I want you guys to make sure that you're not getting confused over what we call a shared living environment, which is the whole house. They share everything. But when we talk about the rooms, there can be a shared room, there can be a private room, and then a private suite.
Correct.
Which one do you have most of, Shay?
Private suites.
Got it.
Private suite and private room.
What's the difference, Shay, between a private room and a private suite?
A private suite has its own bathroom. So an ensuite, that bedroom is going to have a restroom. And in the private room, you know, they will share a common restroom.
You got it. Yep. Does that make sense, everybody? Because I know that we had a couple people also ask that, and you guys were getting a little confused over, Derek, what do you mean by a shared? Well, first of all, the whole environment is shared. So picture it that way. Yeah. So if it's a 4-bed, 2-bath, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1-bed, 1-bath, don't matter. Right. That whole environment is shared, meaning the refrigerator, the pantry, the AC system, the hot water heater, the toilet, the sink, everything, the freezer, they share everything. But when we're talking about the rooms, people like Miss Tia and my wife Shay, they don't do a lot of share the way I do. They do a lot of what you see right here on this screen. And my coaching teaches you this: less people, less problems. But also in terms of what we do, everybody can't afford this private room. So a lot of times Shay finds herself educating people on what they can afford. And like I was telling you guys earlier, it can be in a big bougie house like this. It can be in a 4-bed, 2-bath home like that, which is my favorite model. The 4-bed, 2-bath flat is my favorite for many different reasons. And I got big ones like this, 8 bedrooms. I got small ones, but my favorite. And this is a question we get all to. Derek, can I do it in a mobile home?
Yes, you can.
The last guy that asked me that over 6 months ago, he bought this mobile home. Yes. The only thing that I would tell you guys, and here's some free coaching, not a mobile home that's inside of a community. Most of the time, the mobile home communities want you to live in it. Yeah. So if the mobile home is on its own piece of land, let's go for it. In fact, that's one of my 2025 goals. I either want a set of land to put a bunch of these on it, or what if I just find 1 or 2 with one? Like, you know what I mean? So I want to get into this. I'm tired of seeing mobile homes for $3,000, $2,000, $5,000. Some of them are for free if you just come and move it. So I want to get into that. Can we rehab this mobile home and bring it back to what it's supposed to be? Absolutely.
You have to.
But not inside of a park. If you do a mobile home, make sure that it's on its own land, guys. And it can be a small 3-bed, 2-bath like this. So again, I think I got less than 12 minutes left before I have to go. And Shay, I don't see a lot of questions, so that must mean that we're doing great. Ernest has got a good one, though. Ernest sounds like he's a lot like what I used to be. Ernest says, would it be a conflict of interest if you are a social worker of the VA, Veterans Hospital, guys, and want to help veterans? Well, Ernest, that all depends on how your job will feel about that. Ernest, that's part of the number 3 reason why I quit my job. Excuse me, resigned.
Thank you.
My job wouldn't allow me to stay there and be Derek in terms of second chance housing. Make sense, Ernest? And if you're still there, shout me out in the chat. Ernest, I couldn't keep my job and do this. My job told me that would be a conflict. So it was between my job and this dream that God put on my heart. Guess which one I chose? Okay? So let Ernest's question be a catapult for all of y'all. If you're in social services and if you think that this may be a conflict, because I'll be honest, Ernest, and I can talk about this freely now, I almost lost that job towards the end because I was so focused on second chance housing.
Bad.
And guys, watch this. I worked at that job for 9 years. And for 8 years and probably 6 months, I was the best employee ever. But the last 6 months, y'all, I'll admit I was a pretty crummy employee. I came in late. I left early. I left on my lunch break. Y'all, I was building something that I knew that would last the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I got fired, so be it, because I'm building this thing that I'm going to always do. But I will admit, big shout out to the job that I worked for, because they were very gracious with me.
They were.
And because I was such a great guy for 8.5 years, they kind of just let me do me. But to be real with y'all, them people should have fired me. I came late. I left early.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of wrong stuff, in other words. Watch this, Ernest, because I can talk about this freely now, and I should probably put this in a book. Probably my first few clients that I received, Ernest, I was still a social worker.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Ernest, when those people were discharged, I snuck them people through the cafeteria of that hospital into the back seat of my car. I've never told this story live, I don't think. Now, if I still had this job, I would be in a lot of trouble coming up.
As he's telling
but right now, Ernest, between me and you, Ernest, I'm going to pretend it's only me and you on this live because that's the only way that I feel comfortable telling it. My first few clients were put in the back seat of my DTS Cadillac, 2009, I think, and I drove them to my ILF on the clock. Sorry, y'all. Lord have mercy. But I'm just being honest, big bro. But my job already told me, Derek, we see where you going, dog. We see you a superstar, and we see what you trying to do. Derek, you need to get away from here because you can't stay here doing this.
No, but don't even forget, they even told you that they need you.
Yeah.
In the fact of they need housing providers.
Yeah.
So they were super, like to this day, they are still super supportive.
Because guys, remember, my job saw the rats and roaches story. I worked there.
Come on with it.
So again, guys, I'm just honest like that. That's how my coaching is. That's how I am in general. I just want to be so direct and honest so that y'all feel where I'm coming from. Guys, I knew when God put that in my heart that this was going to be something I'll do for the rest of my life. So at some point, somebody's got to take a hit, either the job or your dream. Which one will take a hit, Tia? Tia, you got a full-time job. You involved in your community and you busy, Tia. Tia, you did something that wasn't required like I did. You was like my brother, Tia. You kept your job. So watch this. Don't get all fancy and think you got to leave your job like me. The devil is a liar. Because you go to your job and lose your job or say, well, I'm going, and say, well, Derek told me I should walk on that. The devil is a liar. Even a part of our coaching, we tell you kind of when it's a great time to leave. Because first of all, we're in prayer and we use common sense.
Yeah.
I'm smart enough and honest enough to tell all of y'all that if I was to do it over again, I wouldn't quit my job when I did. I would have leveraged the bank a little bit more. And that's a whole nother teaching because when you quit that W-2, Shay, it's hard to go and ask for a loan or business credit and you talk about you an entrepreneur. So let us coach you the right way. There's a time to leave. There's a time to stay, and some of y'all need to stay. Like Tia right now may not see a reason to leave right now, but I guarantee you Tia probably won't be on that job in the next 2 years. Tia, if I'm lying, tell me in the chat.
My God.
Tia is building something that will outlast her. And that's what we teach all y'all. Build something that's bigger than you. And for most of y'all, it's going to be a little 3-bed, 2-bath house just like that. And watch this, because I only got about 3 minutes left. Listen to this next statement very carefully. And this is not an insult on nobody's income, but if y'all was anything like my income, 28 grand a year, in fact, if you make under 35 grand a year, this sure enough go for you. Most of y'all can get 2 of these rentals and quit your job. I'm gonna say that again in case you didn't hear it. Most of y'all can go and get 2 of these leases or rentals and resign from your job in the next 60 days because it'll cover your income. Y'all ain't making that much. How do I know? I had a job for 9 years making 28 grand a year, y'all. So I'm not some kid that was born with a silver spoon. Right. I'm a kid that say, God, you showed me a lady that was making 41 grand a month. God, I made 28 grand a year. Can you let me make 28 grand a month at least? Yeah. And slowly but surely through the scalability of what Shay told y'all 30 minutes ago, that she can rent faster than she can buy. Guys, God eventually made that come true. Mm-hmm. Now, there are weeks that come in and that kind of money sometimes rolls in. Yeah. And guys, that's no bragging point. That's a bragging point the way I want to see y'all life change. Yeah. Because if y'all made 41 grand a month, put a number 3 in the chat if that'll change your life a little bit. And I'm going to be the first one. Put a number 3 in the chat. If you made 41 grand every 30 days, Shay, would that change your life a little bit? It would. And guys, that was my prayer. God, you showed me a lady that's mistreating your people and rats and roaches that I saw with my own eyes, y'all. Miss Juliet, it broke my heart when I saw that stuff. And I said, God, why not me? Somebody type in the chat, why not me? Over the last 2 weeks, that's been the gist of what my post has been saying on the front. Why not you? Meaning you start your housing program and change the trajectory of the way your city view homelessness. Yes. Yeah. Because your city looking for the answer and you can be the solution.
But the thing that what I want people to also know, right? To whom much is given, much is required. So you're going to have to get out there and build, right? This is not some get rich quick scheme. This is not some, blink of your eyes and it manifested. You've got to get out there and do the work, right? And I tell people that all the time. You cannot expect a bountiful reward or to reap a huge harvest if you've not sowed any seed. And you've got to get out there and do your part in order to make this thing work.
Because Shay, just like I said, what y'all see on the screen right now is the way it started. Me at my desk, dreaming to leave that place. Yep. Always wanted to help people. God was genius enough to have my wife trick me almost to go to college. Shay drove me to a school, y'all, one day. And like, Darren, let's just go see what the people offer. You need to do something with your life. Do something. So I said, okay, let's go see. Guys, when we got back in the car, I said, Shay, did that lady say I start October 2nd?
Yes.
Next week?
Yes, sir. Go buy you a book bag.
I was like, Shay was like, Derek, I'm going to help you. Don't worry about it. Shay helped me with one assignment one time, y'all, and the other 4 years were on me. But watch this, because don't get it twisted. 3 of y'all men in here today say, thank God for a good woman. I would use the word wife, but if you got a fiance or you almost got a girlfriend that's about to be, I'll just use the word woman. If you are a guy, 3 of y'all type in the word, thank God for a good woman, because it was Shay that pushed me essentially into my destiny. God always uses people. It was God's genius idea, but he's always going to partner with man. Katara, that wasn't my idea to go to that school and get a social work degree. That was Shay's idea. In terms of to trick me to go to school. Yeah. Shay was like, well, Derek, what you want to do? I said, well, nothing to do with math because I can't count and I'm bad at math. But Shay, I love to help people. I got a heart for people. I like old people for sure. And doing my assessment with the lady at school, Miss Angelique Jones, I think her name was. I still remember her name. Yeah, that was. She said, well, Derek, you'll be perfect for human services. I said, well, what is that? She said, you ever heard of social work? She said, Derek, the same thing. 4 years later, I walk across the stage in Jacksonville, Florida with a degree in human services. Landed the job where God showed me the lady that was making 40 grand a month in conditions like this. with the kitchen burnt up and people still live there. The lady sleeping in front of the kitchen stove. The mattress on the ground, Mr. Ernest. Ernest, this ain't stuff I'm telling you that people told me about, Ernest.
You can see it.
Ernest, look at the cinder blocks holding this guy bed up. I only got 2 more minutes, y'all, and I'm gone. The cinder blocks, because I always jokingly tell y'all, if you ain't got your glasses on today, guys, I just want you to know what's holding this bed up. One of them is on the floor with no sheets, no pillowcase, no comforter, no bed rails. The devil is a lie, making 41 grand a month.
We walked it. We walked through it.
This guy's bed is on cinder blocks, Mr. Ernest. Ernest, this is the same lady making the 41 grand a month. Ernest, you think I just pulled some random picture, bro? BOP 43331, Bob 43. You think this is a random picture? Shay and I took over this place. Shay got a whole presentation she did for 30 minutes talking about how did we take over this place from somebody else and turn it into what we do now. Because this is not the way, ladies and gentlemen, not making 41 grand a month. The devil is a liar. And this is that place that Shay took from that doodle green, ugly color, raggedy fall-in roof. The whole inside was terrible. And Shay turned it into something that looks like this now, taking homeless women from homeless to hopeful.
And if they want to see, I have a video on the Angela.
And if I had 2 more hours, I'll keep going, y'all. But I'm gonna try to close this thing in the next 2 minutes.
And they can go to the Angela.
What?
Go to AngelaDeniseFoundation.org to see the video on the rehab. We did a walkthrough, so there is a walkthrough of that property.
Give that again, Shane. Also, probably type it in the chat. I want people to see what you took that house from. But when you're watching it, don't think that Shay just got a big old pocket full of money. That came from Shay having all of these rental properties that are collecting rent from people that need somewhere to live.
Yeah.
Right, guys? So again, let 2025 be a catapult for all of y'all. I'm getting ready to go in less than a minute and 30 seconds. And as I always say, that we laugh and we joke and we play a lot. But one thing I hope that you felt today and that you noticed, we love God, we love people, and we love real estate. That's what's going to create the generational wealth for you guys. Shay gonna put in the chat in about 2 seconds that we got an event January 31st in Orlando, Florida, that we're lucky enough to be speaking at and kind of hosting it. We want you guys there. But we also want you to take the one-on-one coaching if this is what God has told you to do. We got this saying that says procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to act on. Most of y'all, God has already told to get into real estate, and most of y'all, he's told y'all to help people. You just never knew that there was a way to actually to merge all of this stuff together. So again, if you love God, if you love people, and if you love real estate, we want to be your coach. If this is something that you want to do, scrolling below, I'm gonna go ahead and put that back up on the screen. We got scholarships that we do all the time. I hated that if you missed that sale that we had in November, but we always got some kind of scholarship going on that can help with the cost. Definitely text the phrase more info, MOREINFO. Text the phrase more info to 407-326-0086. That's actually going to give you our introductory webinar that leads to a free discovery call with me and my team. So right now, scrolling below, I'm putting up that number right now. That's your first step. Step number 2 is subscribe to the YouTube channel. Soak up a lot of this free information. 3 days a week, we come here religiously and give this game away. There is no question you can think of that I don't have a video for. But because I love to run my big mouth so much, and I made a promise to God that I would do this, I come live every Monday, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. So make sure that you plug in, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and all of that. And our coaching can be found at forstonconsultants.com/IMB. Most people do want our ILF Mastery Blueprint coaching package. That's one-on-one coaching. But again, let's watch the webinar. Let's have a phone call, and we can talk about anything in terms of your questions and how can we get you started in your city. Share 1 minute over, and I got to go.
That's it.
Did y'all enjoy today? Give me 3 people that said, Derek, this was quick, but it was good.
Can I tell you, Derek got 35 seconds before I hit end.
I'm telling you. So now unto him that is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all we can ever ask a thing, according to God's power that worketh in us. You guys be great, and we'll see y'all Monday morning at 6 p.m. Eastern. But Tia put in the chat, January, whatever she said, That's when we're starting at 7 p.m. But for now,
January 6th.
6 p.m., y'all be good. I'm out of here.
All right.